Today we are looking at 3D shapes. What's a 3D shape? A 3D shape is a three-dimensional shape that has length, width, and height. Now, if you look at the screen here, you have a 3D shape, and I'm going to tell you how to list its properties. When asked to state the properties of a 3D shape, it's important to know what you have been asked to look for. You have been asked to find out how many faces that 3D shape has, how many vertices, as well as its edges. We know what a face is. You can see the flat surface of the 3D shape is the face of that shape. The edge is a point or the line where two faces meet, while the vertex or the corner is a pointy tip on that 3D shape. So it's important when we're writing out the properties to be able to count correctly and record correctly. Oftentimes, when treating 3D shapes, we present to our learners 3D models with which they can count on their own the vertices, they can count the edges and also the faces. But what you have on the screen here, you can see the properties of some 3D shapes listed out. The cube has 6 faces, has 12 edges and 8 corners of vertices. The properties of a cube are the same as that of a cuboid. You have the cylinder there. The cylinder has 3 faces, 2 circular faces and 1 curved face. And then it has 2 edges. It has no sharp edge, so that's why no corners. So I'd like you to take time to study the properties of the 3D shape you have on the screen. Oftentimes, learners are confused on which shape is a prism or a pyramid. A pyramid has triangular sides which meet at one point called a vertex. A pyramid often has a pointy tip. It's like a triangle, like the pyramid in Egypt. We just cast our mind back to that pyramid. So a pyramid has a pointy tip at the top. It's just sharp vertex. While the prism, on the other hand, has 2 ends that are exactly the same size. So we have examples of. On your screen are examples of different prisms. You have the triangular prism, rectangular prism, which is a cuboid, like I said earlier, the square base prism, you have it here, and the pentagonal prism, hexagonal, heptagonal, octagonal, and trapezoidal prism. So I'd like you to study these prisms and their properties. Okay, here on your screen you have different 3D shapes, not just the polyhedrons like we had in the previous picture. You have the sphere, the cone, the cylinder. It's important for you to take out time to study and know the properties of the shape. Sometimes in an exam you could do a rough sketch and then count. That also helps too. Alright, we move on to the net of a 3D shape. What's the net? I like to call the net of a 3D shape the skeletal framework of how the 3D shapes looks when it's opened up. Alright, so the net of a 3D shape is a 2D shape because it's a flat shape. When it's opened up, you have a 2D shape. When it's put together, you have a 3D shape. Good. So like you have on your screen are the properties of nets of the various 3D shapes. Alright, you have a cuboid there. The properties are 4 rectangles and 2 squares or rectangles. That of a cube are 6 squares. That of a cylinder, 1 rectangle and 2 circles. That of a triangular base pyramid, or we often call it a tetrahedron, 4 triangles. Now, if you look carefully, you can see that the nets of a cube actually they look so simple to make, and so when you fold them up together, you have a 3D shape. I'm going to share a video where I teach my learners how to make net of 3D shapes and how to put them all together to actually form that 3D shape. So I do hope you watch in the next video. These are also some nets of 3D shapes and the properties of the 3D shape, not necessarily the properties of the net. All right. Alright, that brings us to the end of today's class. As always, I like to drop worksheets. It's important that we practice anything we are taught in the math class. Okay? Practice makes perfect. I do hope you have a lovely day and you enjoy watching this video.